When you are looking at your own blog webpage and you're signed in, you should see some extra options. There is Create Entry, which is what we're going to be looking at in a moment, Admin, and Prompts. Hover your mouse over the Create Entry option to see the many different types of entry that you can create. Possible to make a university-only entry that only members of Warwick University can see, university and alumni. World viewable, that's the most common type of entry. Anybody can see that. It's on the public internet and it will be picked up by Google, and you will get a good Google ranking for that blog entry. Private entry is just available to you, the owner of the blog, but also private entry contributors. You can allow other people to be contributors on your blog, and they're able to see your private entries as well. There's an option to see draft entries, so you can write an entry, save it as a draft, and finish it off later. And also, finally, an option to write a review, and that's book reviews, DVD reviews, music reviews. In this video, I'm going to start off by making a world viewable entry and immediately changing it so that only a specific group of university members are able to view the entry and comment. So let's have a look at how that's done. First of all, we want to click on the world viewable entry option on the list. So on the right hand part of the page here, you can see the options for controlling access to this blog entry and controlling who can comment on the entry. At the moment, it's set to anyone who can see this entry, and for commenting also anyone, which means anyone in the world, which is very good in most circumstances. But in this case, I want to restrict it to a specific group of people. Okay, so if we click on there, we can see lots of different options appearing there. I can tick one or more of those options. I'm going to untick anyone. Now, I know that there's a group that I want to assign this to, and I know what the group code is. All modules, courses, departments have specific codes in the university system. And you can often find them by going to Find a Group. Okay, so groups containing the text adopt a class. That's the group that I'm after there. So it could have been a module code that I typed in, but in this case I've got a specific group called adopt a class. There we go. So who can see this entry? None of those people apart from adopt a class. And I'm going to also change the commenting permissions. I don't have to do that search again. It's remembered the group, and I can just select that group. Okay, there we go. So we can see who can see the entry, adopt a class, who can comment on the entry, adopt a class. Showing blog collections means that those people will be able to see them in the blog homepage. There's a list of all the recent entries on there. Other people won't be able to see them at all. Now, I could change that later on. So, for example, I might write a blog entry, just allow my friends to see it, and then allow it to go public once I'm happy with it. Writing a blog entry is really straightforward and quite fast if you've got something to say. So, every blog entry needs a title. And I could say that this is related to a specific web page, and I put the URL of the web page in there. So I might be writing about a resource, something online. Tags and keywords, that's really important. Okay, it will suggest the tags that you've used already down here. You can just click on one of those to reuse it, or you could type it in again. Now, it's important that if one of your tags keywords has a space in it, you replace the space with an underscore. So if I want to be writing about year abroad, I put an underscore, and then a space, and I can put the next tag. then a space, and I can put the next tag. And so on. So that will allow me to see this blog entry on a page that lists all of my travel writing entries, or all of my year abroad entries, or in fact to see all of the entries from all of the blogs on Warwick Blogs that have those tags. Okay, so now we're on to the process of writing the blog entry. And this is a familiar what you see is what you get editor, a bit like a word processor. So I can click into the white space and type. Okay, you can cut and paste. There is some formatting you can do. Wrap some text in quotes, more formatting, lists, spell checker. Don't forget the spell checker. Okay, doesn't recognize the word blog. That's amusing. I can put tables in. If I select a word like blog entry, a phrase, I can then link that to another web page. And I can also put photographs, images of all kinds, as long as they're JPEG or .png files, onto my blog entry. I do a lot with photographs. So I start with, we got a nice picture of the seaside. And that's a photo I've already uploaded. If I want to upload a new photo, I click on your computer tab and I can choose a file, upload it. Usually best to make sure that your image has been resized to something reasonable, so less than 1,000 pixels wide is sensible beforehand. If you take an image off a digital camera straight away, it will be a very large file. And there we go. I can scroll down after the photo and I can type. Once I'm happy with what I've created, there are the options there. Save for later, that puts it into the drafts folder. Preview allows me to have a look at it as it's going to appear on the blog before I publish it. Schedule, I can schedule it to actually appear on my blog at a future time, but I'm going to publish now. Okay, and if I now go back to my blog, there it is. And you can see that the lock symbol indicates that permission to view it is restricted, and it says only viewable by adopter class, which is exactly what I wanted. Now, if I want to add more to that, just go back to edit, and I can add more.